Welcome to another wonderful talk at the Positive Future for Health podcast. And today we have Ozana Giusca. Is that right? Thank you. Thank you. My terrible English accent. Thank you. So Ozana is going to be talking to us about quantum coaching. I don't know what it is, and I'm really intrigued, and I'm sure you are too. Thank you, everybody, so much for coming along to this talk, and for those who are watching the replay. So Ozana, we met. Where did we met?
In the Sovereign Project.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
And I was introduced to the Sovereign Project by a client of mine. He said, you must get on this, it's the register, and you must go and have a look at this thing. And so I thought, I don't know where I'm going and what I'm doing, but it's interesting. And I got on board with you. And then of course you interviewed me with your team. And then we got chatting over that time. And you talked about quantum coaching, and I don't know what that is, so I'm really intrigued. But how did you get into it all, Ozana? Who are you? Because I know you're very experienced in your field. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm used to when someone introduces me, she's experienced in the field. I am used to saying in the business field because this
Oh,
is what I do. I had done for so many years. So I've got an MBA in finance, and in Romania, I was known as the best online marketer. But not because I knew online marketing to the little detail, but because I understood business as a whole. So I could come up with the right strategy for each business. And of course, when you implement the right strategy in the right way, then you get results. So now this is something completely different.
okay.
Uh,
What happens?
so what
Over your
happens?
cornflakes one day, and what happened?
So I worked with about 60,000 entrepreneurs as
Mm,
their mentor and coach on the business. And
goodness.
many of them were startups or coaches or trainers or therapists or psychologists wanting to set up a business or having a business and wanting to grow. And I did a lot of workshops and a lot of master classes and many programs online as well as live. And January 2019, I separated from my partner after 2 years of badish relationship. The relationship was getting worse and worse and worse, and then it was just normal to separate because none of us could cope with the relationship as it was. But my problem was that I couldn't cope with me not being with him after we split up. The business stopped, so nobody wanted to buy anything from me. I didn't have any clients whatsoever. No one
What?
wanted any workshop, any consulting, nothing. So January to the 2019, I was with my son. He was 8 years old at the time, living in London, separating from my partner, not having any money, not having any perspective on life, wondering what do I do with my life because I
Did
couldn't.
did you at least speak English by that time?
I was speaking English, yes. Yeah, I did an
Please.
MBA. So I came in 1999 in the UK to do an MBA. So I could speak English and I did work for an investment bank and venture capital after the MBA. But 2003, I set up my own company. So I was not employable after whatever, 20 years of being an entrepreneur. And that was not the main problem. The main problem was the pain. You are about pain free. My pain wasn't in the body. My pain was in the soul, inside my emotions, because my
Goodness.
partner was going and sleeping somewhere else 4 or 5 nights a week and giving other women what I wanted to get from him. And for me, that was devastating. And I was crying every day and I was wondering what to do with my life. So I went to one of two of my clients in the business workshops. These two had something special. There was some spark. There was something in them which is different from everybody else. And as I said, I had loads of therapists, loads of psychologists, loads of coaches, etc. But these two are special. And one of them, I did all the programs, and that's how I learned about energy. That's how I learned that we are energy. I was skeptical before when they were in my programs. I thought they were
Mm,
talking nonsense. So I was teaching them business, and I thought that what a lot of rubbish. What do you mean we are energy?
It's funny, isn't it? Because I mean, I've been a therapist all my life, natural therapist all my life. But I remember one time I tried reflexology, and I thought, what a load of rubbish! What, just sort of pressing things? What's that? And I became a reflexologist years later, and absolutely raved about it. It's funny timing of things, and sometimes it's not right for you. But look at that.
Well, it's the life pushes you where you've got to go.
Yeah. And I totally relate to you. I mean, I had something similar. I was crying every day of a devastating change in our relationship, and same, I feel for you. I'll keep back the tears. It's
It
tough,
was
but life
horrible at the
pushes you.
time. It at the time it was horrible, but now looking back, I know that that was the best gift I've ever received from my life, ever.
Mm, mm,
Because if
wow.
I didn't go through that pain, I wouldn't be where I am today. And I
Yeah.
wouldn't believe we can live in a beautiful life, in a beautiful world. We can
Yeah.
have it all. We can have the wealth, the health, the love, the happiness, the freedom, the fulfillment. We can have everything. And I wouldn't have been able to do that if I stayed in that relationship and working with business owners, helping on the business. So back to the story. So with one lady, I did all the programs, everything. I was falling asleep because I didn't understand what she was talking about.
You're
There was this.
taking on all the energy.
Yeah, it was. She was working with energy, but I didn't understand. And I was also kind of one piece of me wanted a solution, and one piece of me was skeptical and was rejecting it because I am very, very logical, and I built everything with my brain, with my
Yes.
ability to think. And then the
Mhm.
thinking just goes away when you work with energy.
Yes.
So there was this lady, that assistant in the workshops, and she kept coming to me and saying, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, "Just leave me alone. Go, get out, go away." And eventually, when because I started healing and I started changing, but I still had many obstacles and many problems. And eventually, I ended up going to her to help me when I would hit the something where I wouldn't know what to do.
Yes.
And she was connecting to me, and she was telling me things about me that made sense to me. And she was like, "Oh, do you want to get rid of this and this and this?" Of course, yes, 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 yes. And then I could get out of that and move on. So it was
Like
like
emotional blockages, or the pain of the relationship, or
it was all sorts: money, health, relationship, friends, anything. Because when you go in life, you resolve something and then something gets stuck, and then you want to go further, or you actually feel that you can't move anymore,
yeah.
and whichever way you move, it's nothing.
Yes.
And eventually, she said to me, "Ozana, you have some gifts that you can connect to the person, into the energy of the person, and you can transform that person. You can go to the root cause of the problem, and you can transform it." And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. That's what you do." One day, she said to me, "Ozana, I'm very ill. I need your help." And I was so indebted to her, and I was like, "Yeah, anything, whatever I can do."
Mhm.
And
But sometimes we don't know we have skills, and it's, as you
oh,
say, life kind of brings it out of you. You don't realize until maybe you have an idea, but life
so
sort of
I can.
presents itself.
She said, "Connect to me." I connected to her, and she had a headache. She had a headache that like her head was exploding, and she couldn't move much. So I could see like as if she had a backpack, a black backpack. That was the image I saw. And she said, "Just get it out." I'm like, "No, I can't." "Yes, you can." "No, I can't." "Yes, you can." "No, I can't." And then I started receiving the messages. I was right, I couldn't because I had to explain certain things to her, and I had to do certain work with her. And then at some point I could. And then when I removed it, the headache disappeared.
Mm.
So then she said, and she said, see, you can. I said, yeah, I can do it with you because you know how to do these things, you know how to receive them. Now you can do it with anyone. So then I started practicing with my clients because I, with the other lady that I told you I wanted to, with the other lady, she was my mentor, and we created about 50 programs where she was teaching and I was just structuring because I'm very good with the logical mind to structure things. And I went to the clients from those programs and I said, well, I can give you this. And they said, yes, of course. And it worked every single time. So
Beautiful.
then I started offering them for money. And that's what
Mm.
I do now.
So you completely switched from your financial business world to this world?
Yes.
Really?
I
Wow.
don't do anything at all on business. And the funny thing is, I do
Wow.
get people coming to help, to ask help for business because I still
Mm.
have the sessions and mentoring programs on the website. With
Yes.
every single one, I do the exact same thing. I unlock them as the individual rather than
Mm.
the business.
Amazing. So do you work with so people still come to you for business problems, but you unlock them in their business energy
Yeah.
world?
Yeah, because the business cannot grow bigger than the owner. We know that. But what does it mean?
Yeah.
It's actually the blockages within the owner
Yes.
that stop the business from moving forward.
Amazing.
Unlock those
Amazing.
blockages, and then the business grows or opens up to something else or to more.
Because it's true, isn't it? You have money mindsets or thoughts about business or thoughts about emotions or thoughts or blocks about how big can you grow, and all sorts of blocks. And of course, if you're feeling those things, we are not just physical beings. It's all energy and your emotions and your training of life and your mentality. It's all part of the package of you, isn't it? And
Exactly.
especially if you've been sort of put down or traumatized in some sense, there's a big block there. There can be a massive block there. And so what is this quantum coaching then? This is going in there, so seeing the person
So
energetic.
yes, I am doing quantum coaching, but the main piece of the quantum coaching, of course, it combines quantum physics with traditional coaching. But the main thing of quantum coaching is that you look at the person as a whole being, not just the brain, not just the physical body, but the person has a physical body, has a mind, conscious and subconscious, has emotions, has soul, and has spirit. So the problem that everybody has, of course, they don't understand that they have this five elements, if I can call it like that, or they
Mm.
don't understand what to do with them. The problem is that when someone wants something, with the logical mind, they go towards what they want, but then there are it's and pushing in the direction that they want. But then the soul or the emotions or the subconscious mind pull the opposite or in different other directions.
Yes.
Unless they align all these elements to go forward, it's not happening, or it's
Mm.
happening with a lot of pain, with a lot of hard work, and with a lot of giving up something else. So you give up love
Mm.
for money, or you give up time for money, or you give up health for money or for relationship or whatever. It's always a big pay. But when you align them, it just happens
It
naturally.
just flows, doesn't it? When everything's aligned, flow happens. It
Exactly.
does. There isn't an effort. There's an inspired action, not a sort of a hard work action, going up a hill action. And I mean, I work with people with long-term pain or chronic conditions for various reasons. And sometimes I find that they can't go past the trauma. They can't go past, they can't heal. It's like it's just a hair away. It's just a moment away, but it's like they keep going round in the trauma and they can't move forward to pain free. Could you help someone like that?
Absolutely.
It's like
Because,
physical,
you know,
emotional, or life
the
traumas, or
anything. So in the traditional coaching, it's an exchange of like Q&A, question and answer, and discussion ish. But in the quantum coaching, I connect to the person and I can go to the roots of the trauma. I can go to the roots that are causing whatever problem or whatever pain, whatever blockage, and I can literally remove them like this. It's
Wow.
actually as if you unplug or
Yeah.
you take the roots out of the soil.
Yes. And of course, if the root's gone, then the behavior and the
And
feelings
it
and the thoughts
change
aren't there.
it changes instantly. It's
Goodness. And
instant change.
I love that. Bit of instant change and stop the troubles. So how do you do that? Do you close your eyes and feel the person, or do you use your logical minds? How do you, is it, this is what you've learned in quantum coaching? You
Um, I
sense that?
didn't learn this anywhere. So all these courses I've done helped me open up towards a bigger something that I am. Because I thought I was just a body, right? But now I understand that I am a divine being. I understand that I have a soul and a spirit, and I understand what they mean and um, how to use them, if I can call it, or be in tune with them, so I achieve what I want. And because I opened towards this new way of looking and being, then I discovered that I have these gifts. And apparently, actually, it's not apparently, it's sure that I have had these gifts before
Mm.
in a previous lifetime. You know, my soul lived other lifetimes, and
Yeah.
I could do the same thing in other lifetimes. So now it's just remembering what I was able to do and doing it.
Like an inner knowing, an inner sort of gut feeling or inner guidance or something, you mean?
It is in a guidance. It's the guidance of the higher self, of the
Mm.
divine, of the creator, whatever
Yeah.
you, God, whatever you want to call it. Um,
Could you take somebody through on this call or get us to do it for ourselves? Can we see within ourselves, or does it need an outside person to look in? Is it possible to see yourself, or could you do a little sort of some sort of demonstration of some kind? Would that be
um,
possible on this call?
yeah,
Or
I can do a demonstration. So eventually you can also see yourself. But I say eventually because you can't do it right now in the call,
yeah,
because it's a process. It's like training yourself. Same as you train yourself for the marathon to run the marathon. You can't do
yes,
it in the first day, but
yes,
after you train
yes,
yourself, you can. It's the same
yes.
thing here. And I will explain how it works, and then if you anyone who wants, I can connect to one person. And so it's like, you know, the cloud, the
Mm,
computer cloud has
yes,
has the information. Let's say iCloud, right? Your phone has pictures and you can store your pictures into the iCloud. I can access your iCloud when I connect to your iCloud, and I can delete pictures or add pictures, but that's only with your permission. And that's the best way that
scary.
and it's not pictures, it's beliefs, it's fears, it's different emotions, it's desires, it's behaviors, it's attitude, it's attachments, it's all sorts of
I
things.
want to come and see you.
We can do a demo with you if you
That's
want.
that's am I going to be laid bare with my vulnerabilities? And I'm sure someone else would like to have to be guided, perhaps on the call. If you want to put a thumbs up, anybody who'd like to Ozana to take you through it. So Ozana, can you talk about if you want to put your thumb? Do you know where the thumbs up is? Anybody? If you go down to the bottom, and you've got a heart at the bottom of your Zoom box, and Becky, you'd like that? Yeah. And I just wanted to, so do you want to, I wanted to ask you, Ozana, can you give us an example of what you did with somebody and what happened and what was the results of somebody that you took through this process? Could you say an
Um,
example? I
yeah,
know
so
not to say
for
names,
example,
obviously, but
for example, no, you don't have to put a camera on if you don't want for this. It's an energy work. It's not a physical thing. So I give you an examples for health, right? So one lady came to me with panic attacks. I
yes.
don't know what they mean. I never ever had a panic attack. I didn't know how they felt, and I thought, well, these people are stupid to say, oh, I can't, I don't have a panic attack, I can't do anything. I didn't have the concept. So when I connected to her, I felt like I was in a vortex, and I was like, and I was being pulled down. And I literally had to put my hands on the chair to hold myself. That it was so strong, the feeling. And she says, yeah, that's exactly how I feel when I have the panic attack. And then it was obviously some fears that we removed, and some beliefs. And then it was literally a 10 minutes process. She
Yes.
never ever had any panic attack after that.
Fantastic, because if you it's like knitting, if you see you've got a missed stitch, you can go back and correct it to come
Mm.
back to the place that you were. You can correct it because you can see in the knitting where something's gone wrong. You don't have to go back and relive it all again. You can go back and do certain things to correct it. And
Yeah, so it's actually not correcting it, it's changing
ah,
the energy.
oh
So you
wow.
don't have to relive
That's
anything.
amazing. Love it.
It's like you have a rubber, and
Mm,
you erase.
yes.
You erase the energetic imprint of those particular things that make the panic attack in this instance come,
Amazing.
come to life.
Amazing, because people can suffer with things for years and years and years, and they can't get a handle on it because it's like inner workings, inner trauma, inner patterns and things like that. So that took 10 minutes. Presumably you had consultation and it took a lot of time. I presume it's not just 10
No,
just
it
10
was only a 10-minute process. The whole thing was 10 minutes, nothing else.
That's beautiful. I love it. So there's a couple of people with their hands up. But Aki should put her hand up first. So do
Yeah,
you
but
want
let
to
me
talk?
let me give you another example, because, for example, someone had problems with the heart, and that wasn't a 10-minute process. So she was going to have a surgery, but she was afraid of whatever they put in anesthesiac and whatever they do in the hospital to their body, because she was not in control, and she was at the mercy of the medical staff, and she didn't believe, she didn't trust the medical staff. And she was like, I have to do, but I can't do it. And we had about 4 or 5 sessions on the heart, and it wasn't all at once. It was like, initially it was just to remove all the fears so that she could go, but we also worked on the heart, and she didn't have to go.
Amazing. I was hoping you're going to say that. I love it. I believe you because I've been a natural therapist for many years and I've seen many. I don't see it as a miracle actually. I just see change in the body. When you do the right things, the body reacts and it's molecular, it's physical, it's emotional, it's mental. I see the changes. I've seen it many times. So I'm totally aligned with what you're saying. I love this kind of stuff because healing is easy. Healing is straightforward. It really is. If you
You
know what to
another
do.
I left the last one, the third example for the last one, because I was like, wow, was this one. This is a client of ours, and she did all the programs that we offered. So everything that we did, everything that we offered as a program, she attended, and she was very diligent, and she was working on everything. We have a tool that literally makes wonders. And as
And this is you're talking about business
the
programs
program,
or
no, the programs with my mentor. I told you, the other mentor. So we have
right.
about
Yes.
50 programs in Romanian
Yes. Got it.
uh, on the same thing. And
Wow.
the more she was working, the weaker she was becoming.
Right.
And eventually she was like, Ozana, I have to come and do a session with you because I can't even take a bath. She was on her bum in the bathtub because she did not have the energy to even stand up and take a shower. And
Wow.
she couldn't eat much, and she was like desperate.
Mm.
So the problem that she had, I'm trying to remember now, is the more light I have, the less power I have, the weaker I get.
And that was her mindset or
That was a
pattern.
belief.
Yes.
We removed that belief and she started getting better.
Mm.
And but in that call, and she said, no, we have to do another call. Yeah, because we did 2 calls. In the first call, we removed this and she felt better, but she said, I want to do another one. In the other call, we did, as I said, we have 50 programs, and one program, or actually few, are about manifestation and about intention. So you set intentions, you plant the seed, you water the seeds to get what you want. And she, as I said, she was getting sicker and sicker. And I discovered her intention and desire to live healthy, no, to die healthy. So what she was focused on all these programs was to die healthy. She wasn't focused on living healthy.
Yes.
She was focused on dying healthy.
Yeah. And was she aware of this belief, or this is something you discovered
She
behind the
created, yeah,
scenes?
that was her, that was what she wanted. But the
Yes.
way she formulated what she wanted was completely wrong. So she understood that she needed to create an intention, and her intention, her desire was this: to
Mm.
live, to die healthy. And of course, she wasn't getting healthy because she wasn't willing to die.
Yes, and these patterns can be a lifetime. And I mean, I remember one. I do something different, but with the same kind of scene that we do. I call them power statements. We come up with power statements. I call them power statements. They're sort of statements. They're like almost rules we live by. I remember one lady. She was born and they took her away from mother, and that little tiny soul believed that people can't be trusted, you've got to do it yourself. And when I met her at 56, she had terrible knee problems and she had a business, very clever lady, but no customers. And when we connected to that, when we tuned into that, she had the same belief. People can't be trusted, you got to do it yourself. So she had no customers. And sometimes we are aware that we run these stories, these rules, and sometimes we don't. That's why I was asking, was she aware of it? But it sounds like this lady was aware of it. She got,
Uh, she was aware. She was aware, but she didn't realize that that was destroying her life.
mm,
And of course that was the main thing, but there were many other beliefs and fears around it. So I think one of the beliefs was, if I when I get healthy I die, which
yeah.
she was not aware of.
Mm. So she's never going to get healthy like that with that mindset.
No, she
And a
didn't
whole
want to get healthy.
and a whole system, the way she eats, probably the way she moves, the choices she takes in life, and the business, whatever. Absolutely. So we've got a couple of people that are interested. So who's going to go for it? You're fighting over the position, girls. And Oksana's here to share and talk about this, but get in touch with her afterwards, and then you have a quiet, private sessions with her, if you want to. So what are we going to do? So,
And do something else. So I can do one person now, and I tell you. So when I could, but be aware, if you want to do it, when I connect to you, I will get an image, and the image will not be a nice one. It's a symbolic, it's a metaphoric image, but it's one that shows us what needs to heal. And
Mhm.
then, of course, during the session, but the session is about 40 minutes or so, the image changes to eventually it gets nice.
So
Uh,
are we going to be able to do something in just a few minutes here? It's
yeah,
not
so
very
what we
much
can do
time.
in just few minutes, we can
Mm.
do something with everyone,
Ah,
something completely
great.
different to this, because I have loads of tools and I have loads of abilities. So what we can do, we can send compassion as if we are the higher self to you, the human, and
Hmm.
that everyone can do that, to heal something. We can pick a topic if you want, or we can do whatever comes from the people that participate.
Do you want to put something in the chat, guys, or just unmute yourselves and let Oksana know? Oksana.
Hi. Uh, I would love to be able to do it, but I would love for Britja to do it because she's a lot more organized than me.
Now let's do with everyone. Let's do with everyone, and we pick a topic. So tell me something that you are not happy with.
Okay, I'm not happy with the pain in my shoulder. Okay, I'm not happy with my body. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, my the way I hold my body, the way I walk. Unfortunately, I walk with two crutches. I'm already disabled. So I I have a lot of issues just because of the situation with my body.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sunny. Now let's see what Brecky would like.
Okay.
What Ulrika and Altea.
Well, I've got fibroids, and I
Awesome.
wondered, I've got fibroids, and I've had them for years, I think, and I even try my own method. Nothing. I've tried so many things. So if you can help with that, that would be
I have
fabulous.
no idea what they are.
Oh, it's a fibrous growth in the womb. It's
So
like a
something in the womb.
it's like a hard lumps in the womb. Yeah.
Okay. Brecky?
I don't know, can it be very general or do you need a specific?
Anything you want.
I would like to get rid of my postponing avoidance behavior that is related to a lot of trauma in my life.
Okay.
Dysregulated nervous system. I can take a whole hour. Just
Okay. That's it, just to postpone.
Is that enough for you or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Ulrika?
Stuff like that.
Ulrika said something. If we're talking about the body, I have arthritis and the pain.
Arthritis.
Arthritis, thank you. And the painful metal joint. To be honest, I don't know what arthritis is.
Like pain in the joints when people typically was when we get older and we have stiffness and tightness and pain when we move in the
Okay,
joints. Yeah.
thank you. As you
And
can see, I have not done any qualification on the medical side at all. So I don't know the diseases other than a normal person. But
Very lucky. You're very lucky. You don't even have these issues.
But I have had my stomach, my digestion problem and constipation and other things. But I had a lot of other suffering. So what we are going to do, we are going to connect with the higher self, and each and every one will do that together with me, guided by me. So you either imagine or connect to your higher self, to your divine, to your spark, to your spirit, whatever you want to call it, that is inside you. Or you imagine that if you have not done anything like this before, you imagine a beam of light between you and the sky, the creator, the universe, God, whatever you want to call. Yeah, we call it higher self. So you imagine the connection in a beam of light with, yes, you unmute, yeah. A connection as a beam of light between you and the higher self. And we are going to do this tapping into the frequency of compassion. And the frequency of compassion heals at soul level. Whatever it is that needs to be healed, gets up an aspect of the soul will be healed by you following my process and repeating after me the same sentence as I say it, exactly as I say it. The sentences will start with, I'm so sorry that. But they don't mean I'm so sorry as in it's pity or regrets. They mean it's the words that we use to tap into the compassion. So you're going to be say, I'm so sorry you're stiff, for example. And you say exactly this, I'm so sorry you're stiff. You're not saying, I'm so sorry I am stiff. You're saying exactly as I say, I am so sorry you are stiff. because it's as if you give compassion from the higher self to the, as if you are the higher self and you give compassion to the human, which you actually are. So we are going to all close our eyes, and I invite you to say this out loud. So please connect to your higher self now. Imagine the beam of light between you and your higher self. Know that you're safe, you're guided. Know that everything is good, and it's for your highest, for your greatest good. Everything is according to the divine plan. You're protected, you're guided. And let's take a deep breath in. So we inhale. We exhale. We connect to the heart chakra, which is around the heart. And at intention level, or you can visualize a string between anywhere in you and the heart chakra, the heart. And we connect to the belly button, sorry, to the solar plexus, which is just above the belly button. And again, you imagine a string, or you just do it as an intention. And please repeat after me. I'm so sorry you're stiff. I'm so sorry the weight is too heavy. I'm so sorry it's so hard to carry all this weight. I'm so sorry you don't know what to do with this weight. I'm so sorry you have no choice but carry all this weight on your shoulders. I'm so sorry you're not safe to remove the weight. I'm so sorry you're not safe to heal your traumas. I'm so sorry you're not safe to walk freely, to be free. I'm so sorry you believe you cannot free yourself. I'm so sorry you had to endure so much pain. I'm so sorry you keep postponing it. I'm so sorry every time you want to do it, something else more important comes up. I'm so sorry they don't allow you to evolve, to grow, to develop. I'm so sorry they keep you hostage in your own life. I'm so sorry you feel safer in darkness than in the light. I'm so sorry you're confused. I'm so sorry you don't know what to do. I'm so sorry you can't trust yourself. I'm so sorry you can't trust the process. I'm so sorry you think, you believe, no matter what you do, it still won't work. I'm so sorry you're not meant to be free. I'm so sorry you're meant to be stuck. I'm so sorry you are meant to feed them with your energy. I'm so sorry they have to use you. I'm so sorry you can't stop that. I'm so sorry, it's so much pain and suffering. I'm so sorry you don't believe you can live without pain and suffering. I'm so sorry everything is heavy. I'm so sorry you are heavy. I'm so sorry you can't free yourself from the weight. I'm so sorry you can't be flexible. I'm so sorry you're not allowed to live without pain. I'm so sorry they lied to you. I'm so sorry you believe them. I'm so sorry you believe in wasted actions, no results. Let's take a deep breath in. And tell me how it was for you. How much percentage-wise did you find yourself that those sentences or affirmations were true for you?
Yeah, you can just unmute if you want to say something.
They were all true. All true. All of them were true.
Thank you, Sunny. And how did you feel? How was the process for you?
It was good. I was trying to, move my neck, my body, and it felt a lot better in that moment. Strange, but it did. It felt better.
And how is it now?
It's still better.
So what happened was that you released some energy that was blocked in your soul. So you healed one aspect of your soul that was impacting what you're living now.
Wow.
Now, I'm not saying that you will be cured for everything.
Of course.
It's one thing that was cured, which obviously allows you to move better.
Yeah.
And this is done. So once it's done, it's done. It doesn't come back.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. Ulrika says 100% right. What about you two ladies?
I suppose when you say these things, it's a part of you that's holding it in place in your system, in your body, in your mind, in your emotions. So when you say those things, it's like cancels it out. I that's how I understand it anyway.
Yes, it dissolves the energy. It dissolves the energy that holds that thing that you say.
Yes.
However, it's only related to one aspect of the life. So, for example, I'm so sorry you're sad comes up a lot because the sadness has many roots, many reasons, and now we only did one aspect of the soul, but then the sadness is in other aspect of the soul as well. Some
And
are only one and it's done, but some bits appear in more healing processes.
yes, I imagine, if someone's been suffering a long, long time or things from childhood, perhaps, there's lots of layers there, isn't there? Lots of beliefs, lots of emotions. So I imagine that takes time to unlock this and unlock that, until to your satisfaction. I mean, I've certainly experienced that in my sort of healing world of things, that sometimes when people are ripe and ready, they change on from serious states of pain or whatever on a moment by the end of a sentence. But then other people spend weeks and months and even years keep trying and just takes a long, long time. Everybody's different. So,
Because everyone has certain limitations in their mind and in their emotions. And unless you remove those limitations,
mm,
starts to change.
amazing, amazing.
So the way I imagine is like as if imagine you have a carpet, and on
Mm,
top of the carpet you have a lot of rocks, big rocks, then smaller rocks, then smaller rocks, and it's like a mountain of rocks. You cannot move the big rocks that are on the carpet unless you remove the ones on top.
yes,
So this is a process. You remove the ones that you
yes.
can, and then you go to the ones that are at the bottom, and then you remove them.
And what do you have a lot of resistance from people when you get to those big rocks, that deeper level?
Yeah. Yeah, there was one lady, she worked with me for 3 months. She committed to work with me for 3 months, and she was amazed. Again, loads of health issues that she resolved, as well as relationship, loads. And she was also launching a business, and she did a program, a business program to launch a business. And she wanted to find $10,000 to pay that lady to join the business program. But she wasn't interested in finding money to continue more than 3 months with me. So she committed 3 months, and after that, she didn't have any money, and she didn't even consider working further, even though she resolved so many things. And she said to me in the call, Zana, how is this possible? And the reason why she wouldn't go beyond the 3 months, then, well, she realized that she wanted to go beyond, but she didn't have the money, and she was still focused on the business, was because she was afraid of her own power. She was
Mm,
afraid of her own light. She was afraid of her own evolution. She was afraid that she would lose the current relationships if she evolves further than the 3 months that she had in her head.
yeah, yeah.
So it's all sorts.
All
Everyone has
sorts of
their
stuff,
own
isn't it?
resistance.
But
And
actually,
I have my own.
yes, we all have them. We're human, aren't we? We have these layers of lack of not possible things. But actually, you've unmuted yourself. Did you want to ask something?
Oh no, I thought she wanted to hear what our experience was.
Yes, please.
And for me, it was not everything resonated. A few things I even thought, oh, that's quite negative. No, I don't feel like that. But I don't really know. I think I feel quite calm, but I'm tired as well, so that could be it. I just know I have this analytical mind, so I'm a bit skeptical.
So what happened to you? You're tired because the energy was moving. And when the energy moves, you get the feeling of tired.
Yeah,
Something.
I've also been swimming and doing loads of things today, so that could be
No,
it
it's
as well.
nothing. It's nothing to do with that. It's
Okay.
the movement of the energy within you when you were working with energy. That's what it was. And that's why you feel tired. Remember what Althea said before you started saying your experience? What were we talking about?
About my experience,
No, you asked me a question,
about if people get stuck, if they get blocked.
but you formulated it differently.
I'll have to rewind. What,
I
what did I
don't
So
know
what
say?
either.
you said was, do I get a lot of resistance?
Ah, yes.
Ah,
So what you actually experienced was a lot of resistance.
me or Althea?
You.
Oh, right.
So exactly those things that you said, oh, that's not me. that's exactly where your resistance is.
Oh dear.
Yeah, see, I don't really remember which affirmations they were, because a lot of them I could relate to. And I felt sighing, and I felt I was sitting up really straight. And it wasn't unpleasant or something, but I just didn't agree with the view of the affirmations. But then if that's resistance, I'm open-minded that that could be it. I just would like to know which ones they are. So I hope you hit record before we started this podcast, because I came in later, so I can look back.
Yes, yes. All recorded. Yes, yes.
Yeah, cool.
So if you look back at all the affirmations, I don't know if you have a way of figuring out, but there are different tools. You know, the body is one of them. You say it's not an affirmation, but let's call them affirmations. So
Yeah.
you say the affirmation, and then the body shows you if it goes in front, it's yes. If it goes back, it's no. And you can test the ones that you didn't agree with. And I 100% guarantee you that that's where your resistance is.
Okay.
I had a session with one, usually, so in the private sessions, it only happens very, very little. Very few people tell me, no, I don't recognize that. There was this person in particular. It was a him. He had worked with himself for like 20 years. And I said things to him. And he was like, no, 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 that's not me. That's not me. That's not right. I don't recognize. And then luckily, his wife was in the room and she was listening to the whole thing. And at some point, I wanted to do an exercise with him to recognize them. But the wife said, this is all you. You are exactly every single one of them. And the reason why he was saying no, no, no was because he had worked with himself for 20 years, as I said, and he understood light and darkness. And he consciously decided, I don't want darkness in my life. And what happened at that time, he put all the darkness like into a box. He closed the lid on the box. He locked it up and he said, there is no more darkness. And everything I was saying was locked in that box.
Mm.
And he was resisting to open it because he believed healing is painful. Because he worked on himself for 20 years and he used old tools, which were painful, which created pain for him to heal.
Okay.
But now, in the quantum field, there is no pain. It's only healing, only release.
So we cannot get any negative effects from this, because when you said I can see, before the plan was to get one of us, treat one of us here, you said I am going to see a picture of you and it will not be nice. You said something along those lines.
Yeah.
Do you remember? I noticed then that I started to hesitate, thinking, oh, I don't know if I want that. I don't want to see some dark stuff that I didn't even know was there, and then having to go to bed after in an hour or so, you know? Is that a wrong interpretation? Or
There is no, in my field, there is no wrong. There is no wrong, there is not right. It just is. It's the way you look at things right now. Because everyone looks at everything from where they are in their process or in their journey. You are at whatever consciousness level and whatever vibration level that you are. And from here, you see life the way you see. If you want to change and if you want to live better, you increase your consciousness, you increase your vibration, and then you see life differently.
How?
By doing this process.
Again.
Of removing, not this particular, this process again, but not with the same sentences.
Okay, but for that we need you.
Or somebody else that can hide you. Yeah, I can be one of them, but of course there are other people that have different tools. I have my tools and I know it works and it works fast. And other people that have other tools.
But it's not harmful, this, because if you feel resistance, that has a reason.
So the reason why you feel resistance is because you have a logical mind and you believe that your mind is in control of your life. And the mind, the role of the mind, one of the roles of the mind is to keep you safe.
Yeah.
And if you change, if you get out of the comfort zone, you get into the unknown, you get into what the mind perceives as unsafe. So the mind keeps you stuck. That's why working with the mind has very many limitations, and you cannot do properly.
That is relating to what Althea does with the pain-free method, isn't it, Althea?
I'm back
You
in the
always
body.
say, yeah, you're going into the mind, you're going into the mind. And I'm like, yeah, but how can I not go into the mind? I cannot switch it off. You know, it's a process, I think, or a training.
I told you at the very beginning, we are whole beings. So we have a body, we have a mind, we have emotions, we have soul, and we have spirit. When you work with energy, you work at soul level, the root. And even if you don't want to, it still gets changed.
Oh, yeah. You might not notice it yet or something.
Sorry?
You might not notice it just yet, but something has, yeah.
So whatever you've worked on, whatever the sentences you've done have already impacted you.
Yeah.
Of course, there is more. It's a process, right? You can't heal one lifetime or hundreds lifetimes in 10 minutes. So you need to continue with this process, or as I said, other types. In the session, when I do private sessions, for example, a few days ago, I had a new client. She came for the first time because she's like, I can recognize that I'm doing everything that I know and my life is not progressing. So I recognize there is something else which I wasn't aware. She knew nothing about energy and anything. And I asked her, well, do you want to free yourself from the fear of XYZ? And she said no. She could not say yes because she was even so scared to let go the fears.
Wow.
So then I had to do another exercise and another process for her to finally. So what happened was that I guided her to live, to have the experience as if she lived the life with those fears, without
yeah,
a session, right? An hour session. So after she had that experience as if she lived with those fears, she said, okay, I let them go. So then I could extract them. Because if you don't say yes, I cannot do it.
No, you go get the permission.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are in control. But in order to say yes, you've got to, it has to make sense for you. So you have to say, yes, oh, I'm aware of this and I want to get rid of it. And if you're not aware of it, it's one of the rocks at the bottom. So I need to get you to remove the rocks on top of the mountain first.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can then see that rock. And then we can remove it.
Wow. Yeah.
It's fascinating. And I'm learning with every session with Ulrika. Ulrika, I did a session with her and then a day later or something, she said, you know, in my shop, there was this Turkish guy and there was a Turkish woman and a Turkish guy and they were talking in Turkish and I could understand everything. And she's...
Really? Wow. Cool.
Ulrika.
Where do you come from?
I speak Turkish now.
Can you share a little?
Yeah, I have a little problem with my computer skills, but hello. I am in Sweden and I speak Swedish and a little bit English. I understand a little bit German, but Turkish is absolutely, it makes no sense. But for a few weeks or months, I was looking at these two series that I was recommended, The Gift and it was another series from Turkey. And it came into the shop two people who spoke Turkish, and I was like, what is this? I recognize this. And I said, oh, you come from Turkey? And they were like, yeah. I'm so inspired from this Turkish Syria, but it was almost like I understood what you said. And they look at each other, oh, you speak about a gift? And I was like, yeah. Well, this is the, how you say, the man who like create the Syria. I don't know the English name of this. But he was one part of the group who made the cereal. And I was like, what? That's not even possible. But it is. It happened a lot with Ozana, actually. Right?
Yeah, loads of synchronicities and things that's changed in your life. Everything has an impact, and everything leads to a change in life, and obviously good changes.
Yes. I'm very grateful that I met you, and I really look forward to see you again. This was like a wake-up call again, because I was also learning about my body, my soul, and this work, what I did for many, many years. And when I met you, I also had this resistance. And I have many layers. So I think I work in baby steps. So I need to take it I make 3 months or a session, and I need to take a break because it's not always easy to see these, like you say, ugly parts of yourself. So for me, the good thing is that everyone can choose their own journey. So I'm very grateful. Thank you. Today was really a wake-up call again.
Yay! Carry on.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Ulrika, for sharing that. And it's I see the more I've been a therapist a long time, and the more I work with people, I learn about myself and about how we are and about human beings, about our layers, and I find that sometimes we want something, we might want pain-free or the goals that we want, whatever that is, but I think fear gets in the way, or maybe that's just me, it's we have fear gets in the way or resistance, and it's almost like you said, it's better to, like you said in the affirmations, that it's safer almost to be in the lack of, or the dark or something, or the less than to shine who you fully want to be. Do you
And
find that with a lot of people, or?
you said pain-free, everyone wants pain-free. One of the biggest problems, and hopefully that will help you in your sessions, is that people are attached to pain. And as long as they keep that attachment, it's literally like an energetic ring or something. As long as they keep that attachment, they cannot heal.
Perhaps if you bring you into the group, do a regular session for us or something, because that maybe we can have a chat and see what we can work out something, perhaps. Because I
Yeah.
think that there's only certain. I'm just one way of doing something, and one of the reasons I run these podcasts is because I could feel that gap between the things that I didn't know, and quantum healing for one of them, nutrition, or I brought in. I like to bring in natural health experts because I don't know everything. I just know my version of it. And sometimes maybe my version is not enough. Maybe somebody needs quantum healing, or for example, and sometimes we need lots of different things. I mean, sometimes people come into my program, they say, oh, well, does it mean I don't have to do any massages or go walking or whatever? I said, no, do everything that makes you feel good. Do everything that helps you. You can go to gym, and you can go to have nice food, and you can go to Ozana, or you can go to Althea, or you can do meditation, and do all the things that make you feel good, because it's not just one thing, is it? It's whatever helps you in your world, in your body. You can do lots of things.
Yeah, in the business workshops, I used to say, keep everything that is working and add this.
I love that, Ozana, and the way that you've been speaking. I mean, Berachia brought it up that I find the synchronicity of life is really wonderful, and Berachia was saying like it's something similar that I've been saying about in my healings, and I find that when you find synchronicity with things, I feel like it's almost like the universe saying, yes, yes, that's the right stuff. Yes, and here's another version of it. And yes, here's another version of it.
You know, we
it's all the
started
same
later.
stuff.
We started later this podcast, and I tried to call you, and you didn't pick up the phone. So I'm like, okay, what in me is blocking me from having this now? That was the question that I asked myself.
What did you say to yourself? It was my fault.
And it's never, it's never ever somebody else's fault.
Oh, come on. It's exactly what we've been talking about in the group. It's so funny you say that. I believe that though. It's true. Although I know my part to play in this, what happened tonight, but you were doing it for yourself though. Your experience of what happened tonight then.
So you and I are creating this together, and you and I created this to start later. It's not your son or whatever. That's just for the mind. Okay, that's something that has happened.
But do you know, I do you know what? I plan all this. Sorry to interrupt you. I plan all this. I know it was happening. I put preparation. I told everybody it's happening and gave everybody links and things. And then I was doing something with my son. Do you know, I had no engagement into what was happening tonight at 7 o'clock. And then I saw all these messages. I said, my darling, I've got a lot of these messages. And then Sunny called me. I thought, what's happening? I thought it was something with Sunny going on. And she said, where's the link, Althea? What's going on? I was like, oh my gosh. And all the information flooded back. But yeah, but that was my experience. But what was your experience, Ozana?
So, to be honest, when you sent me the page, the link to the page, I knew there would be something wrong.
Okay.
I had this feeling that this will go wrong.
Oh no.
I didn't know what it was, and I didn't do with me what I do with the clients, to connect to me and say, okay, tell me what it is. What do I need to understand, change, transform so that this goes well? I didn't do that. And it went wrong. Well, it started later. It's a small wrong, right? It's not a big deal.
Interesting, isn't it? That here is a case in point of an example of what sort of things can happen in life. But you felt that then. You felt that.
I did when I got the link from you.
How funny. And that's where it rolls, isn't it? And that's what I say too, that it's never ever about something or someone outside of you. And a lot of things, horrible things happening in the world today. Just to say we have come to the top of the hour, but just to say that there's so many terrible things in the world, and we can feel really affected by it negatively. Me too. But then, can we actually do anything about it? I was just talking to Sunny earlier, weren't we, Sunny, talking about can we actually do anything about these enormous problems in the world? Well, maybe no, but we can connect with how it's making us feel, how it's making have an effect on us. That's where the healing happens. And when you are in a good place, when you do the work on yourself, you give off that healing vibe to the world. And I believe that when you do that, you're actually giving off this helpful vibe to the entire world. We're connected to everything.
And it's even more, it's more than this. Everything is frequency. We are frequencies, right? So your frequency is here. If something that happens in the world is matching your frequency, it hits you. But if you raise your vibration and you are above the war or the, I don't know, stupid things that the government decides to do, it doesn't match. So it doesn't affect you because your frequency is above.
And there's lots of ways to raise our vibration. Can you just talk us through that? How do you do that? I know it's your technique, clearly, that is clearing, and then your energy will naturally rise, I suppose.
So the idea is that you have within you a lot of shit, a lot of heavyweight that Sunny said. It's like, it's on my shoulders. You feel it on your shoulders, but it's within you. So that could be guilt, could be fears, could be shame, could be resentments, could be a lot of things that you think, you feel, or you don't, because you're not aware. And every time you remove one of them, each and every one of them, your vibration increases. So with every single one of them that you say, I say remove, but it's actually, you transform the energy of it. You neutralize the energy of it. And it's not impacting you anymore. And then your vibration goes up and up and up and up. And that's it.
And I think that's our natural state.
That is our natural state, yes, to love, to live in love, in unconditional love.
Absolutely amazing, amazing. What a nice note to finish on. And so, Ozana, how do people get in contact with you? If this is something you want to take to the next level, to get in contact with Ozana and find out more for yourself.
Anyone can book a tester session, which is cheaper than the normal ones, and it's on BUBFree, bubfree.club. That's the website. It comes in Romanian, but you select English, and then you see the programs that are in English. And I will be bringing more programs in English, because in Romanian, yes, I have loads of them.
Yes, because you've done a lot of work in Romanian, but as you said, you want to expand into the English market and English people. And that's one of the reasons I brought you on, because I would like to share you. And how do you spell that? So it's B-E...
B-U... Be free. So be yourself to be free. That's the only way to be free, by being yourself.
Beautiful. So it's a letter B, letter U, letter B, and then
it's
free.
B-E... B-E-U, Y-O-U, B-E-F-R-E-E.
Got it. So the whole, all spelt out.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And that's .com or
.club.
.com. Wonderful. Ozana, that's really beautiful. I know we've just touched the surface. That's all we've done tonight, I know, but that was really, really delightful and expanding. I love the energy that kind of lifted us out of that.
Just one more thing. Our aim with BUBFree is to guide people to the point where they don't need anybody else to help with anything, because they get the divine connection. And initially, I do these private sessions, or I do this kind of healing that we did today. But then we have a tool that anyone can, of course, can get. It's on the website as well. And with this tool, you can do it yourself. And the point is, my aim is to get people to use the tool as soon as possible, so that the power goes on them. So they don't give me the power, like, oh, I need Ozana to do that. No, you can do it yourself.
I love that. I think that's beautiful. And I feel that that's the way it's supposed to be. We have all these gifts. Ozana, you have this fantastic gift that you nudge people in the right direction, but it's not about you, is it? Because that would be ego. You're nudging people to take over their own power and come into themselves. I think that's perfect. I'm feeling that's right on the button there.
Only way. I don't want all people attached to me. I want people to be free.
I agree. I feel exactly the same. Sometimes people need others a lot or maybe a little, but ultimately it's all about taking your own power back. That's the whole point, isn't it?
That's the point. But taking the power back is a process, and you need someone to push it, to guide.
We all need something. I mean, I'm a therapist and I help people in my world of things, but I think we all need somebody. I need people sometimes as well, as much. And that's just the way it is. And maybe it's like I see and envisage it's like when we leave school, when we're leave our family when we grow up, that it's time, you learn what you need to learn and off you go into your world. And I feel like it's a bit similar. So I always like to leave the last word to my guest. Maybe if you want to say some sort of statement or one positive affirmation, perhaps, or word to take us on into the night, to consider, perhaps, or a thought. Do you have something you'd like to leave us with?
Oh, me! I thought you were asking.
No pressure. No, I try to talk a bit too much, so I give you time to think.
No, I thought that you wanted each of one of them, because that's what we do in our calls.
Oh, okay.
Them
Okay.
to say something about the session.
Yeah, no, all on you. And if you want to some kind of statement or positive thing or thing to focus on, perhaps, or
Yeah, I started with it and I finish with it. You can have it all. You can have the wealth, the health, the love, the happiness, the fulfillment. You can literally live free. You can be yourself and be free.
amazing. I feel that. I really feel that. Thank you so much, Ozana. It's been terrific, absolutely terrific. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us tonight. And I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Do get in contact with Ozana, please, if you feel drawn to her. Go and have a look at the website and book yourself on the taster session and some sessions with her. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.